What did Moses say? I can't speak well. See, you got to find the humor in that. A bush was just talking to him. Okay? Let's follow that for a second. Some of the excuses we give God, God was talking to him through a bush. And his excuse to God was, I can't go deliver the people. I don't speak well. And this is what I love. God didn't even acknowledge. God said, well, I'll let Aaron talk for you. I mean, but he was talking through a bush, and that was the excuse. And sometimes I think we do the same types of things. We go, God, I know you're saying this, but whatever, then move your butts out of the way. Joseph, I love Joseph's story, and I'm closing in just a few. Joseph, God gave him a dream, and that encounter held him through the pit, through the prison, and even through the palace. Think about, I want you to take a second and think about something that you know that God spoke to you about in your past. And circumstances changed that. Think about Joseph from that teenage boy until he was a grown man. That encounter with God through that dream was so powerful that when his brothers put him in a pit, he didn't change. When he was put in prison, he didn't change. And even when he had success as the Pharaoh's right-hand man, he did not change. And I believe that some of us have given up on dreams and things because we think that time has gotten away from us. Jacob, his name was changed. It says he wrestled with God. He wrestled with God. Jacob's name meant deceiver, trickster, prankster, deceiver. He wrestled with God. He encountered God, and overnight, he went from being deceiver, Jacob the deceiver, to Israel, the church, or the nation. From deceiver to Israel. Think about the power of that with one encounter from God. One encounter with God can completely turn your life around. And I've often wondered about the limp. Have you ever wondered about that limp with God? One encounter with God not only changed his name, but everywhere he went, and this is just Martin's brain working, they walked and traveled in sand a lot. And I could always see when he got up and walked, there was always one line dragging behind him as he had to drag that hip. And there was always a mark that he had been with God and that he had encountered God. And I believe that God will leave a mark on us that not only we can see and remember, but those who follow us will also be able to see that we encountered God. The last two, the woman with the issue of blood. When you think about that story of the woman with the issue of blood, she had tried everything. She had given everything to the world, and she was desperate. And it says that she knew that if she could just touch the hem of his garment, if she could just encounter Jesus, that she would be healed. There's things in your life today, in my life, in our lives, that we deal with, that if we can just touch Jesus, it all changes. It all turns around. It all like that can be different. With one encounter, your fullest potential. That lady could not be who God called her to be as long as she was sick. She could not be around friends and family openly. She was not able to be the loving neighbor and a caring wife or mother that she needed to be until she touched Jesus. and encountered him. And last is the Apostle Paul. The Apostle Paul. Sometimes I wonder if the tornado was my Apostle Paul moment, because I was very sincere in my attempt to serve God through the planting of the church. But like Paul, I tell people, the thing about Paul was he thought he was doing right. He thought he was doing right. There was not this, I'm trying to defeat the church because I'm not trying to serve the one true God. He thought he was doing what God's will was for his life. And I want to encourage you to be willing and open to a true encounter with God. I call it a Damascus Road experience. An encounter with God that so rocks your world that you'll never be the same again. If you were created for more and you're going to do more for God, then you have to have that type of experience, that type of an encounter. You were created for more. And I want to encourage you. I'm just going to open up the altars here and give you an opportunity to pray. Because I think I was going to play a video, but I'm not going to play it. And it was just about identity theft. The enemy has tried to steal from you. No matter whether you're a work-at-home mom or you're the CEO of a company, retired or whatever, God still has work for you to do. And you were created for more. And today is the day that you need to say, you know what? I'm going to become what God's called me to be. I'm going to play, this song is Today is the Day. And if you need to just come and say, God, I want an encounter with you that releases my full potential, because I want to be all that you called me to be. I want to be more. Then just come and find a place to pray.